Slavery and the flame of revolt. Imagine a colony where the air was heavy with the smell of burning sugar, where the crack of whips echoed across the fields under the blazing sun. On July 23, 1791, in the darkness of a rainforest, a group of enslaved people swore freedom or death. This was the beginning of the Haitian Revolution, an uprising that would shake the foundations of colonialism and forever change human history. Today, we will explore how this flame of resistance grew into a fire that consumed slavery and inspired generations. The colony of Saint-Domingue, now known as Haiti, was the jewel in the French colonial crown in the late 18th century. The colony produced about 40% of the world's sugar and 60% of Europe's coffee, making it the richest colony in the world at the time. However, this wealth was built on the backs of enslaved Africans. The colony's population was divided into three main groups: enslaved Africans, about 500,000 people, subjected to brutal working conditions on plantations; white settlers, known as Great Whites, they controlled the economy and held political power; mestizos and free people of color, children of white settlers and enslaved women. Many were educated and owned property, but faced systematic discrimination, the brutality of the slavery system. The life expectancy of an enslaved person in Santo Domingo was only 7 years after arrival in the colony, due to the backbreaking work and inhumane conditions. Surviving African culture. Despite the brutality, the enslaved maintained their cultural traditions, including religious rituals such as voodoo, which played a crucial role in organizing the revolt. Social and political tension. Before the revolt, Santo Domingo was already seething with social and political tension. The French Revolution 1789 brought ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity, which quickly spread throughout the colony. The mixed race and free people of color began to demand equal rights with the white colonists, while the enslaved watched these disputes with hope of liberation. The white colonists, however, resisted any change that threatened their economic dominance. This created an explosive environment where different groups fought for power and recognition. The situation became even more unstable when France tried to impose reforms that limited the privileges of the white colonists. The influence of the French Revolution. Documents from the French Revolution were smuggled into Saint-Domingue, inspiring both the mixed race and the enslaved. The internal division. Even among the enslaved, there were ethnic and linguistic divisions, but charismatic leaders managed to unite these groups around a common goal: freedom. The Oath of Bois Camenon. July 23, 1791. Enslaved leaders met secretly in the forest of Bois Camenon to perform a voodoo ritual that would mark the beginning of the revolt. This event, known as the Oath of Bois Camenon, was led by figures including Dutty Boukman, a former African slave who became a spiritual and military leader. During the ritual, participants swore to fight to the death against their oppressors. A violent storm is said to have accompanied the oath, symbolizing divine wrath against slavery. In the following days, thousands of enslaved people left the plantations, armed with machetes and torches, attacking farms and killing settlers. The role of Cécile Fatiman, a voodoo priestess named Cécile Fatiman, led the ritual along with Dutty Boukman, playing a central role in the spiritual and political mobilization. The symbol of blood. During the ritual, a black pig was sacrificed, and its blood was shared by the leaders as a pact of unity. The outbreak of revolt. In the months following the Oath of Bois Camenon, revolt spread rapidly throughout the colony. Colonial forces attempted to suppress the insurgents, but the determination of the enslaved was unrelenting. They burned plantations, destroyed mills, and confronted their oppressors with a ferocity that astonished the world. We are now ready to explore how this initial revolt evolved into an all-out war for independence, with leaders such as Toussaint Louverture emerging as central figures in the fight for freedom. The struggle for freedom and the rise of Toussaint Louverture's introduction to total war. Starting in 1791, the colony of Saint-Domingue was transformed into a battlefield. Thousands of enslaved people, mestizos, and settlers fought for their rights and survival. In this act, we will explore how the initial revolt turned into an all-out war, with charismatic leaders like Toussaint Louverture emerging to lead the fight for freedom and equality. The rise of Toussaint Louverture the leaders of the revolt. Toussaint Louverture stood out as an extraordinary figure. Born into slavery, he taught himself to read and write and acquired impressive military skills. After the death of Dutty Boukman, Toussaint assumed command of the insurgent forces, demonstrating a unique combination of strategic cunning and diplomacy. Toussaint quickly realized that the fight was not just against the French colonists, but also against other external enemies, such as the British and Spanish, who were trying to take advantage of the instability to take control of the colony. He formed temporary alliances with these groups, using them to strengthen his position before confronting them. The surname Louverture. His surname, Louverture, means opening in French, referring to his ability to find gaps in enemy defenses. Military strategy. Toussaint combined quick, surprise attacks with ambushes, drawing inspiration from the guerrilla tactics used during the French Revolution. The total war and the abolition of slavery were intensified in the following years, with brutal battles taking place throughout the colony. In 1794, France officially abolished slavery in all of its colonies, largely due to pressure from the revolt in Saint-Domingue. This decision was a triumph for the insurgents, but the struggle was far from over. White settlers and foreign powers continued to resist abolition, leading to even more violent conflicts. Toussaint expanded his control over the colony, defeating British and Spanish forces and consolidating his power. Toussaint's diplomacy. He negotiated treaties with European powers, ensuring that French troops remained out of the colony while he fought other enemies. Plantation reconstruction. After the abolition of slavery, Toussaint encouraged freedmen to work on plantations in exchange for wages, seeking to restore the colony's economy. Toussaint's betrayal and imprisonment. His successes. Toussaint faced a devastating blow in 1802, when Napoleon Bonaparte sent troops to restore French rule and slavery in the colony. Toussaint was betrayed by one of his generals and captured by the French. He was sent to prison in France, where he died in 1803. Toussaint's last words, before his arrest, he declared, "In overthrowing me, they have only cut the trunk of the tree of liberty. It will sprout again from the roots, for they are deep and numerous." Toussaint's legacy. His imprisonment did not weaken the revolt. On the contrary, it inspired his followers to continue the fight. The continued struggle with Toussaint's arrest, the revolt seemed doomed to failure. However, his generals, such as Jean-Jacques Dessalines, continued to fight. Now, we are ready to explore the final moments of the Haitian Revolution, culminating in the proclamation of Haitian independence in 1804. Haitian independence and the legacy of the revolution. On January 1, 1804, after more than a decade of fighting, Haitian insurgents declared their independence. making Haiti the first country governed by people of African descent after the abolition of slavery. In this article, we will explore the final victory, the global impact of the Haitian Revolution, and its lasting legacy, the proclamation of independence. Defeating French forces in 1803, Haitian leaders formally declared Haiti's independence. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who succeeded Toussaint as leader, renamed the colony Haiti, a name derived from the indigenous Taino term for the island. Independence was celebrated with symbolic ceremonies, such as the public burning of crops and colonial documents. Dessalines declared Haiti a free republic and prohibited any form of slavery in its territory. The Haitian flag. The flag was created by replacing the white of the French standard with blue and red, symbolizing the union between blacks and mixed race people. The massacre of whites. Unfortunately, independence was accompanied by acts of violence, including the massacre of white settlers who remained on the island. The global legacy of the Haitian Revolution. The Haitian Revolution had a profound impact on the world. It inspired abolitionist and independence movements around the world, especially in Latin America and the Caribbean. Leaders such as Simon Bolivar sought Haitian support in their struggles against colonialism. However, Haiti paid a high price for its independence. France demanded a colossal indemnity for the loss of its colony, leaving the country in debt for decades. In addition, international isolation hampered Haiti's economic development. Cultural influence. The Haitian Revolution inspired literary and artistic works, such as poems by William Wordsworth and essays by Frederick Douglass. The price of freedom. The compensation paid to France was equivalent to 10 times Haiti's annual budget, perpetuating its economic dependence. The Haitian Revolution teaches us that the fight for freedom and equality is possible, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable adversity. May this story continue to inspire you to fight for justice and dignity. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time.